Hello, this is Love Twice. My name is Eliza. I'm sorry if I sound sick today. I unfortunately do have COVID. If you want to see my COVID journey, I do have a vlog on my Patreon that should either be coming out soon or up there already. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But today's video is a little bit different to what I normally do. You can obviously see it by the title, but I previously mentioned in my introduction video that I do have a chronic illness and that I would go into a deeper explanation about it, just so that you guys kind of understand and know and kind of get a deeper look into my life. It does make a pretty major impact in my life, so I didn't really want to keep that away from the public or from my YouTube. I thought it would be better to be completely honest with you guys. So this video is all about explaining my chronic illness and just what I've gone through over the last couple of months or years, and just kind of explaining everything. If you do have any questions after I've kind of explained all of this, then please let me know so I can help you out and answer it. I kind of want to do this video so it kind of brings awareness to my life, but also to other people with chronic illnesses, and kind of let them know that they're not alone, but also that I'm here if anyone needs some support, if they're going through a similar thing. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. So I haven't really been specific about my chronic illness just because I wanted to leave it all for this video, just so if you're interested you can learn all of it here. But the specific diagnosis that I have is called new daily persistent headaches. Now I will quickly pop up something to kind of explain what exactly it is. It's pretty self-explanatory with the name. A daily persistent headache is pretty much what I have, so I pretty much always have a headache constantly, but it's just the pain fluctuates. To make it easier for people, I like to say I just have a chronic migraine. So I have chronic pain, chronic illness, that sort of kind of general idea. So I think I'll start at the very beginning of my story just to explain everything, so that if there are any questions about medications or things that I've been on, that I can make sure that I get it all explained so you're not really confused or anything. So my headaches initially started in the end of July, I think. So I was on a holiday with my family, but I got an infection, so just a regular sinus infection. It's not weird to get a sinus infection. It's a normal thing. People get sick. You just take a round of antibiotics and a sinus infection should go away. So obviously that's what we assumed. I got my antibiotics. I went on that for I think 5 days. Luckily my sinus infection went away. I wasn't sniffly. It was literally the headache that stayed. So I went back to the doctor and I was like, hey, so do I need to take another round of antibiotics? Because obviously I'm not sick and sniffly and, you know, sinus infection-y, but I do have a headache, so maybe I need to go on another round of it. They did end up saying no to that, because obviously if my infection's gone, then it's another sort of problem. And that's kind of where my whole headache journey started. So as soon as the infection went away, that's when my headaches kind of stayed forever. So pretty much since July 2020, I've had a headache since. I like to say I have one big long headache. This might be a weird thing to kind of understand. Basically, the way that you get it is you experience some amount of trauma to your head or to your body, and then obviously your body reacts in a certain way to cause these headaches. They don't really quite understand it, just like how people pretty much don't really understand migraines or headaches. But pretty much you have some amount of trauma or something, and that causes your constant headaches. So it could be actual trauma, like a car crash or something. When you hit your head, causes you to have headaches all the time. For me, it was an infection. So that's how they basically diagnosed me. They knew that because I had the infection initially and I could state the exact dates when I got the infection, I knew exactly when the onset of the headache was, they were able to be like, yeah, she definitely has new daily persistent headaches. So after those antibiotics, I started taking other types of medications, and this has pretty much been the way it has been on and off up until recently, but I'll get onto that later. So I have been on a whole bunch of medications, literally cannot tell you, it was a massive list. So there are two types of medications that I've been taking, either preventatives or treatments. So preventatives are things that you take every day so that hopefully your body is okay, I will not give her a headache anymore. But none of these have worked so far. And then with treatments, it's things like paracetamol or ibuprofen or, I don't know, Panadeine Forte or some things like that that help you when you need the pain to go away. And unfortunately for me as well, none of these work, so I'm on none of those right now. So I've been through a whole series of different drugs and different like things. I've done acupuncture, I've done Botox, I've gone to a chiropractor. I also have these blue light glasses. I'm not actually blind, I have great vision, but these glasses are just for blue light, so hopefully that's helping my headaches, but I really don't think it is. I also went to a jaw and an eye specialist, which I don't think either of them helped. And obviously I've been through several rounds of different drugs, and up until recently my neurologist has told me that he cannot really do anything for me. Obviously I can't be too disappointed because I can't ask him and force him to give me a cure, but that's just the way my body has reacted. Unfortunately, with people with new daily persistent headache, that's just the way it kind of is. They're really bad with getting a treatment or like a cure or whatever, just because for people with new daily persistent headaches, just medicine doesn't seem to work. Like even strong drugs just doesn't work. The trend tends to be when you have a chronic migraine, sometimes some things work. Like I've talked to a very lovely lady who is lucky in her own way that she's able to take Nurofen and it kind of slightly goes away, and Panadeine Forte works for her if it gets really bad. But for me, unfortunately, no matter how much or whatever I take, it doesn't seem to go away. And that's just because we have two different things. She has chronic migraines, I have new daily persistent headaches, but obviously they act in a similar way. So if you're wondering if you have new daily persistent headaches, I'll quickly give you a brief description of it. You basically have a headache every day. It doesn't matter about the pain, it kind of fluctuates, at least for me. You need to have that headache for at least 3 months. So that's kind of when you're able to diagnose it, at the 3-month mark. And then you can also have different symptoms of tension and more migraine headaches. But yeah, you can have more tension headaches or more migraine headaches. Migraines, they might happen only on one side of your head, or they might cause you to be a little bit nauseous or to be a little bit fatigued. So personally for me, I obviously have the headache, and then I have a lot of fatigue, which means that I'm napping all of the time, and I also am very nauseous. I'm very lucky though that I don't vomit, because that would be another blow to it, and it would just be so awful to be vomiting while already being fatigued and in pain. So I'm very lucky on that sort of sense. So obviously that's my new daily persistent headache. That's obviously just a brief description. It impacts me in all sorts of ways, but if you do have any questions about anything in particular, leave them down below, or if you're confused about if you might have it, leave me a question down below and I can kind of clarify a couple of things. Obviously I would have left out a bunch of things. I would list all of the medications I've been on, but there's just been so many I just literally cannot remember. But while I'm still talking about my headache, I thought I would also describe what happens in my day-to-day life that is impacted by my headaches and what my future kind of looks like. So in regards to the future, as I said, my neurologist I have stopped going to because he has no other options for me. I have 2 appointments coming up. They're in a couple of months just because that's how doctors work. You just have to do it months in advance if you want a specialist, and it sucks because you have to wait, but you can't really force them to give you an appointment. So I have an appointment with another type of chiropractor who specializes in a whole bunch of different things, and then I also have an appointment with the pain clinic, so eventually I might be able to go on harder treatments. Obviously I have gotten to a point where I've had these headaches for almost 2 years, probably closer to 1.5 years, but almost 2 years, and it's obviously impacted me to the point where I can't do a lot of things. I unfortunately had to drop out of school, drop out of like a fashion course. I can't really get up during the day, I can't work, so that's why I'm really thankful for Depop and Patreon and YouTube, because those are good options for me for when I can't really do much. So if you are interested in supporting me, please go check those 3 things out. But yeah, the headaches definitely impact me a lot. During the day I'm very fatigued, I'm constantly in pain, and very often I am nauseous, so it's just like an awful mix of so much stuff going on. So yeah, that's kind of like my brief description of my chronic illness. I'm obviously thankful for all the things that I am able to do. I obviously am able to do Depop and do YouTube and have Patreon and do all those things when I am capable of doing it, when I am well enough to do it. So I'm grateful that my body is able to do that much for me. Obviously I'd love to just have a normal job, a normal life, a normal pain amount, but you know, that's not really a reality, so I'm really trying to make the best of what I can do. But yeah, that's just kind of the reality of my life. I know I haven't gone in extreme amounts of detail, but I did just want to do an overview of pretty much my chronic illness and just kind of make you guys aware of my day-to-day life. So if I'm sick one day and I can't really do stuff, at least you have kind of an explanation, or if I don't put out a video, or if I don't do enough Depop stuff, that's kind of the reason for it. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you want me to do a part 2 explaining a little bit more stuff about it, I'm happy to do that. But that's kind of like the general idea of my headaches. Anyways, if you've watched up to this point, I really appreciate you guys for just listening to my story. If you can, check out my Patreon and Depop. I would really appreciate it. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.